Hi guys, how's it going? Ivano here. And actually today I wanted to release a new class guide. But then yesterday, IGN dropped this bomb of a report, which is that EA is planning to move the development and ongoing operations of Star Wars: The Old Republic to a third-party studio called Broadsword Games. Meaning, of course, that BioWare will no longer be the developer of this game. Or in other words, you could say that EA basically wants to sell SWTOR. That's a bit of a shocker, not gonna lie. But before we get into what this means for the future of the game, there's an important caveat here, which is that they're saying here that they signed a letter of intent with the deal expected to be finalized as soon as this month. Now, in business, usually letter of intent means that two parties agree in principle over a deal, but it's not a binding contract yet. So it's not 100% confirmed that this will actually happen, because there's still a lot that can go wrong in such a deal. But since it's not just a rumor, since on the forum, Keith Koenig, the BioWare game director, has confirmed that this is real and the talks at least are happening, he is expecting that BioWare will continue to release at least 2 more patches. Of course, 7.3 is coming out in June and then 7.4. And that's it for BioWare, by the sounds of things currently. So that's a rough timeline of anything between 3 to 6 months. And then if this deal goes through, BioWare will be done with developing Star Wars: The Old Republic. After this initial report dropped yesterday at 10 p.m., EA has also confirmed that indeed this is happening. This is a bunch of PR, doesn't really say anything. But yes, EA has basically confirmed that they're looking to sell this game, moving it to another developer. So what does that mean? Means, first of all, that roughly half of the 70 to 80 people that are currently working on this game might move to Broadsword, so to the new developer. And then probably half of the current BioWare team will lose their jobs, or worse, have to work directly for EA. But jokes aside, this of course sucks. I myself worked for a company once that was shut down all of a sudden because an investor pulled out and 100 people lost their jobs. And yeah, really sucks for those people at BioWare, of course. And even though I have been critical of them and of their decisions at times, you have to say that they helped make the game that I love. And I hope all of them will, have a smooth transition to their next jobs. Anyone from BioWare is listening, wish you guys all the best. So that being said, what does it mean for the game? Well, first of all, we need to understand who is the new developer Broadsword. So Broadsword was founded by former Mythic Entertainment co-founder Rob Denton. Mythic, of course, is the developer of games such as Dark Age of Camelot and Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning. Mythic was bought by EA in 2006 and then closed by EA in 2014. Such is the course of things. And after they've been closed down, a part of the former Mythic team went on to start Broadsword Gaming, which today runs 2 games. First one being, again, the Mythic title, Dark Age of Camelot. So they took that over, which is, of course, a classic MMO and used to be kind of the go-to PvP MMO before WoW came around. And then the second game is Ultima Online, which is, of course, one of the oldest MMOs. Some people say the first real MMO, which was released in 1997. And it's still around today, 25 years later. So Broadsword, this is their website. And according to this, they have a team of roughly 23 people currently. So with a rumored addition of half the team that was working on SWTOR, that would more than double their resources, which I guess is in general a good sign. When you look at the current games, so Ultima Online or Dark Age of Camelot, Broadsword is maintaining them, keeping them running, and that's also why people are saying that SWTOR will shift into maintenance mode. Basically meaning that the game will get no more bigger expansions, but probably a series of smaller patches. And that seems to be the case from looking at the website, looking at the other games, how Broadsword is running things, and also the games forums. So does that mean that SWTOR will be put on life support and slowly left to die? Well, in a way you could say that the game was already on life support for quite some time now. If we look back at the 10-year celebration, I mean, what a flaming mess. Then we had the 7.0 expansion, pruning of abilities. My fear was honestly that they were going to turn the game into a mobile game or something on the console. And since then, we had 7.1, we had 7.2, the PvP revamp, which made changes that no one really asked for and actually even removed content such as ranked PvP, which pissed off a lot of people. We had the miscommunication that I did already a couple of videos on my channel about the R4 anomaly nightmare mode operation that was promised and then cancelled. So yeah, in a way, this game is already in maintenance mode for a while, and now it's being handed over to a new developer, which I guess also explains a lot of things in retrospect. It makes sense why so many key people have left BioWare over the last year, if you know this background, and these plans that have probably been in the works for a while already. And it also explains some of the reasoning why BioWare introduced the 64-bit client and now the move to the AWS cloud servers. I guess all of these will help to make the game a little bit easier to maintain and then consequently also easier to sell for EA, easier to hand over to a new developer. So, all in all, of course, this is not great news. I mean, if we, let's say, imagine the best possible news that could have dropped for Star Wars would have probably been something like EA announces massive update to SWTOR with an 8.0 expansion, 20 new planets, 2 new classes, etc. But that's not what's happening, and it's not surprising considering that EA will lose their exclusive Star Wars license deal with Disney this year, which basically means that Disney, who owns the Star Wars IP, can choose other game development studios to make new Star Wars games. So, will we see a new Star Wars MMO? Will we see SWTOR 2.0? I'm not holding my breath for that. It's also unlikely now with the move to a new developer that we will ever see a SWTOR Classic ever, which in my opinion is a shame. I would have loved to play some of the older expansions again. I would have been ready to pay some money for that even to go back to 2.0, 3.0, maybe something like that. That being said, EA is still the publisher of this game, and they are a partner of Broadsword Games, but as far as I could see, they do not fully own Broadsword Games. So, in a way, the game is going to what I think is a little bit more of an independent developer, which, I mean, could be even good news for the game. Maybe the game will go a similar way to Lord of the Rings Online, which actually saw the pace of their updates increase once they switched to a new developer. So, if you want to take a positive perspective on this, you could say that at least if Broadsword will be focused on actually fixing bugs in the game and maybe tweaking the class balance here and there, instead of adding 15 minutes of story every 6 months, then the game could be better than it is right now, at least for PvP. And I mean, another point of view is also that at least the game is not being shut down just yet. And in fact, even though it might not receive any really big expansions anymore, the game in its current form might be with us for another 10 years, similar to Dark or Ultima Online. So maybe 10 years from now, I will be posting something similar to this guy on the forums, who said, "I'm just happy the game is still here after all these years." So, what do you think about this? What are your thoughts? Have you already uninstalled? Are you going to enjoy the last 3 to 6 months that are left on this game? Or are you here until they shut down the servers for 10 years or however long? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.